So, hi, I'm the man in the Tammy. Now, I remember when there was ever a time in my life that I was unemployed, I would end up at the job centre and I wanted a job. I didn't want to be unemployed, so this attitude really helped. I mean, I think first time I was in a job centre, before I left I got a job. Admittedly, it was in the job centre as a temporary shelf stacker, but you know, I thought that was a bit cool at the time. Otherwise, I would try and get into what the government called a job club. Now, it was really targeted for all these masses who didn't really try to get a job. And you'd come in, backroom, access to local newspapers, national newspapers, you'd get stamp help, you'd get photocopying help, help with working your CV. It was good resources and I knew it existed, so instead of being targeted, I pleaded, begged and grovelled to get into it, and they were quite happy because I think they thought I was a good influence on everybody else. Most people, right, Tuesday, job day, one job maybe, oh, didn't get it, oh well, same time next week. Me, oh, you want me to go for 10 job, not vacancies, but you'd make your own vacancies, like pig farmer wanted at local farm. Right, I'm not a pig farmer, that job's not for me, but you're recruiting. Okay, this is what I've got. Is there anything that you could maybe employ me for? Believe it or not, that sometimes worked. Not very often, admittedly. But you know, you got by. And I remember one of these jobs that I did get, or job interviews that I got, was with social work. Now, that was really weird because what happened was I got the letter, it says please come for your interview on Monday at 9:30, so please bring your passport with you. Now I just thought it was for your identification. I thought maybe a bit extreme, you know. But that was fine, I brought my passport and I got the interview and didn't have any experience to tell you the truth, but the guy seemed, yeah, it was an alright interview. And I think later that day, got the phone call saying, congratulations, would you like to start on Monday? Now, I was already working at that point in my life, and I think it was a low paid but steady full-time job somewhere. So I thought, well, yeah, okay, great. But I can only put in my notice at my present job when I get my letter of contract, you know. Oh, you'll not be getting one of them. Excuse me? No, we didn't send any of them. What you do is you turn up on Monday, and if you're any good within 6 weeks, we'll offer you a permanent position. Alright. Nah. Oh, I couldn't take that chance. Thing was though, that git kept my passport. So I had to go back and retrieve it, which was a bit awkward, you know. Oh, you might remember me. I was offered the job, but I've turned you down. But I want my passport back because it's my passport and I want it back, you know. Other weird interviews. Remember, I was struggling to get some sort of trainee programmer position, which never really happened, but you sort of hone good keyboard skills. So I found myself, I wasn't bad at secretarial, you know, and I could operate a keyboard basically, you know. So this guy, it was some wee business, and he wanted me, he invited me in as a secretary basically, and he was all but laughing at me. He's like, so you want to be a secretary? I said, well, I don't. It's not my burning ambition to be a secretary, but I'm here for the interview, you know, keyboard skills, etc. He says, big sort of swaggering man. He had a swagger about him, even though he was just sitting down. Can you swagger sitting down? I don't know. But, you know, this right macho guy, he says, well, you know, how do you feel about working with girls? said, well, people are people, you know, I've not really thought about it, you know. I don't know, it seems a bit weird. I thought, great, you've invited me for an interview and you've ended up calling me weird because I want your job. So I don't think I was offered the job. Probably, I noticed there was some tall, slender female next in. Got a feeling she maybe got it, don't know why. But then there was the other time I went for a job. Now it was advertised as a computer operator. And that was fine because, you know, secretary, computer programmer, computer operator, depending on the system, it can be quite good fun and quite easy, you know. So I went and the guy's interviewing me, and it turns out that he's got this cutting edge bit of kit for his, I don't know what he designed and made, but it was computer aided design, computer aided manufacturing, CAD CAM. And it's like, alright, okay. And he showed me this console. I mean, this is going back about 30 years, but even so, it was cutting edge at the time, and you know, big robotic hands and cutting equipment and whatnot. It was like a lab, a whole room that was operated by on a sort of mixing desk thing, you know. Well, it wasn't a mixing desk, but you know what I mean. And he goes, well, you're a computer operator. He was basically asking me to show him how to work it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I haven't a skibby. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start, you know. I was reminded of the Goldfinger film with the laser pointing between James Bond's legs. Yeah, no, I couldn't take the chance. But thankfully, I wasn't offered that job, which was fine. But I think the most awkward interview I had was it was another big company in an industrial estate, and you know the type, a sort of big white block of a building, not futuristic but stark, and they've got windows but everything's darkened for the outside. But worse, at night there's loads of these wee sort of lights projecting towards this totally ugly building, showing off this totally ugly building. I don't know why they do it, you know, but you know, ugly building and this secret company thing, I don't know. I remember going for it, and it was like the worst interview. I turned up an hour early because I'd misread the letter, so I was in the waiting room for about an hour. And the receptionist said, oh, I'm very sorry, Mr. Man In The Tammy, but the interview's running late himself. He might be another hour. Yeah, 2 hours I had to wait until he turns up, and it's 5 to 5 on a Friday. So I goes in and waffle, and it's like I was the last interviewee of that week, which, you know, that's not a great position to be in when they're choosing the successful candidate. I don't think I was ideal for his post, but worse, he's all harassed, he just wants him. But he says, right now, do you want a cup of tea or coffee? Well, I thought, I'll have 2 hours with it. Aye, yes please, could I have a cup of coffee? And he looked sort of startled, like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So he went out and I saw him in the corridor, and he had to go to the drinks machine, put in the money, and gets one of these, now, it's like a really thin plastic cup of machine coffee. When I say machine coffee, I'm not talking about an espresso machine or some lovely gizmo that produces a hot steaming cup of delicious coffee. I'm talking about a vending machine that is quite possibly adding little bits of oxtail soup into this powdered, not quite coffee, but it could be if you had a really bad cold taste. Yeah, so he got one of them, and he said, there you go, and he looked a bit pity, you know. I thought, alright. So I thought, oh, that's hot. It was burning my hands off, because really cheap, thin plastic cups. So I'm like, oh, it's hot, hot, hot. I thought, it's really nasty, but he's went to all that trouble, so I puts it down on the floor, you see, and the guy's sort of like, right, well, that's the job. Oh, aye, right. I thought, I'm not going to get it. I think I want it, but at least I tried. Although it was going through my head. But he goes, you finished your coffee? No, it's a bit hot. Alright, any questions? When do you shut? About now. Oh, okay, right, I'll just drink my coffee and I'll go. Yeah, better. It's hot. So he looks a bit embarrassed, and it's like, he doesn't want me there. I didn't want to be there. He probably doesn't want to be there on a Friday night. So he goes, well, could you maybe take it out to the waiting room? Oh yes, boss. So Julia out into the corridor and puts it in well, it's not a coffee table, but it is for the time being. And of course, the cleaners are in and all the staff are away, including the secretary. It's like, it's only me and him there, and he's like, yeah, could you get a move on? It's like 5:10. It's like, yeah, sure. Oh, it's still a bit hot. And I was determined that I would finish off his horrible coffee before I went out, just to make up for this bloody 2-hour wait, Oh, you get some interviews. But I'll tell you my best interview, shall I? I was a student, my first year of a course, and it was coming up to the summer term time, and there was a break of about 7 weeks or so, and folk around me, I noticed on the last day of term, they were all writing away for interviews, and it was all computery stuff this and computery stuff that, and it's like, oh god, I might as well do the same thing, but I've no ideas. And then some snippet of conversation for the back was, well, the council were always recruiting for jobs. And I thought, are they? Really? News to me. And I swear to you, I got this A4 sheet of line jotter pad, students, and I ripped out a page, and I wrote, like a nice letter, but I couldn't for the life of me think of what to write, who to address it to, what job I'm going for, totally. And so I thought, right, dear sir or madam, I am a penniless student looking for summer work. As you're the council, I would do anything, and I expect to be paid peanuts. Now, I'm not just being funny. I actually wrote that almost word for word. Yours sincerely, the Man in the Tammy. And I sent it away to the council. Nothing specific in mind, Well, did I not get an interview off the back of this half-ripped piece of paper? And I was summoned into this guy. He was the head of the roads division, the local council, and I went in like all quivering. I think it was about the first job interview I've ever had, and I'm just sort of like, what do I do? How? And he had my rather tawdry bit of paper in front of him. It was curly, and he looked grumpy as hell, and there's other folk there, and it's like, so you're the Man in the Tammy, are you? Yeah. He says, well, I got your letter for employment. He says, do you think that's any way to conduct yourself? Do you think that's a way to sell yourself in a professional environment for a job? No, I felt like grating. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, And without any flicker of a smile, the guy looked me straight in the eye and said, well, it turns out we've got a job that just might be suitable. Can you start on Monday? Because I'll tell you, it got you noticed anyway. I started on the following Monday, and I was there all through my holidays, finished on the Friday and started back in my second year as a student with pocket money. So, who knows? Anyway, better go. I've been the Man in the Tammy. Bye.